song because I just like it. It makes me happy about a beautiful place. And this is Jerusalem. John saw the city that could not be hid. John saw that city. Oh, yes, he did. John caught a glimpse of the golden throne. Tell me all about it. Just go right on around the throne. He saw the crystal sea. There's got to be more. What will it be? I want to go to that city. It's all New Jerusalem. Down by the lamb, and I want to know everything about that land. John saw the day, but he did not see night. The Lamb of God, well, he must be the light. He saw the saints worship the great I am, the crying worthy, worthy is the Lamb. I want to go to that city, it's all New Jerusalem. Jerusalem, I want to walk your streets that are golden, and then I want to run
to get out there and talk to everybody beforehand. I was trying to make sure everything was working right up here and having my list ready. But during prayer time, I heard everybody talking. I was trying to guess who it was. Well, I got Kim and I got Elaine, right? Yeah, it was kind of cool because I remember the voices. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Darla McFadden. I've been doing this for 26 years, singing and traveling around and doing this. And I love doing it. Mom comes with me pretty much most of the time. She takes care of all my booking and drives around with me. Dad's back in Spencer, Indiana, taking care of his church, Spencer United Methodist Church. And Christina's still doing great. She's not here because she's leading the praise and worship team at her church in Avon, Indiana. Her and her husband lead that praise and worship team, and they couldn't miss this week, so she couldn't come. She still only has 4 kids, thank goodness, because that's a lot. She has 4 kids at 19, 16, 12, and 10, right? Close, close, close. They're getting tall. And mine are 14 and 16, and they're both taller than I am. And they couldn't come because they have school tomorrow, and it's a big trip. So they just couldn't come. They're back in St. Louis hanging out with their dad. And now they got their own schedules. You know, they try to be teenagers, and they think they can do things. So they've always got their own schedules and stuff to do. And this whole driving thing with my 16-year-old, wow, that is a whole different level of fear. I have a new appreciation for parents, including mine, that have done that and said, here's the keys, go. But her first bump in her car was caused by me, because I backed into it. So I took care of it. She said, Mom, you're the one that's not supposed to hurt my car. It's supposed to. Yeah, well, sorry, I did. I backed into it. So now Mama gets to deal with that. But Dad is not doing too great with his health. He's having some problems with his legs. He's losing feeling in his legs and can't walk very well, or very long, or very often. Mom's doing pretty good. She fell and broke her arm in August, September. She was a mess. When Mom's down, we don't know what to do. Because she's like the one that takes care of stuff. But she's doing good now, and we're getting Dad back to 100%. And as you leave, you might say, well, I remember Darla, and she still doesn't sing that great, but she's really happy. I'm happy, and I want you all to feel that when you leave and be glad that you took the time to come to the church and to be here. And a little bit about what I'm doing. I do this every single weekend, and I'm back in school studying to become a marriage and family counselor and therapist. So I'm excited about that. I'm real excited that finals are over. So this weekend is a real celebration for me, too. Plus, I get to go to Dairy Con and get a G-Boy. And several orders of JoJo's, but I think they're going to warm up okay. And if any of you warmed up a G-Boy, tell me about the experience, because I want to get several of those, too. But I'm not sure how they'll warm. You're like, what's the big deal? When you move away, you'll realize it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. I'm going to keep singing. This is just a good song, one of the first Southern gospel songs that I really like, and it's called I Am.
Show us more miracles, if you're our Messiah. Give us free bread each day, just like our fathers had as they journeyed through the wilderness. But this is what Jesus had to say. He says, I am, I'm the bread of life. You'll never grow hungry. I am your water, drink and never thirst again. I'm your father, child, I know you, my name I am, and I'll never change. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He's still the same as he was back then. And just like he raised the dead and caused the blind to see, he'll work miracles if you just believe. He says, I'm the bread of life. You'll never grow hungry. I am your water, drink and never thirst again. I'm your father, child, I know you, my name I child, I know you by name. And I'll never change. He says I am the bread of life. I am your water. I am your father, child. I know you by name. I am, and I'll never
performed by a man named Bill Gaither, if you've heard of him. He wrote Because He Lives and a few old songs. He's retiring this year, so I thought I'd sing this, thinking about him.
Come ye sinners, lost and lonely, Jesus' blood can make you free, for He saved the worst among you. When He saved a wretch like me, and I know, yes I know, Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. And I know, yes I know, Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. Through the mountains, He is near thee, and through the valleys He makes a way. Findeth water in the desert. Show His grace for every day. And I know, yes I know, Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. And I know, yes I know, Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. In temptation, He is near thee. He'll hold the powers of hell at bay, guide you to the path of safety, will show His grace to light your way. And I know, yes I know, Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. And I know, yes I know, Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner
This one's called Hold Me While I Cry.
It's been one of those days that if anything can go wrong, this went wrong. I know I'm feeling sorry for me, and there's a lot of self-pity going on. Tomorrow I will be okay, the dawn will bring a brand new day. I'm sure by then I'll be fine. today I really need a friend, and I know that you understand. So will you hold me while I cry? I take a lot of your time, when I should be strong, and I should be standing by now, but it's you I'm leaning on. You have always kept me safe from harm, like a child in your arms. You cradled me through hardships I faced in this life, and now it's one of those days I've been fought in every way. So will you hold me while I just cry? I've tried to be strong, but if anyone can fall apart, I fell apart. Then I ran back to you again, and you healed my broken heart. You have truly been a friend, reaching out to lend a hand, my Lord, when you could have passed me by. Now I'm asking for your strength today. Lift my spirit, Lord, I pray. And will you please hold me while I cry? I take a lot of your time, when I should be strong, and I should be standing by now, but it's you I'm leaning on. You have always kept me safe from harm, like a child in your arms. You cradled me through hardships I faced in this life, and now it's one of those days I've been fought in every way. Will you hold me while I cry? You have always kept me safe from harm, like a child in your arms. You cradled me through hardships I faced in this life. Now it's one of those days I've been fought in every way. Will you hold me while I just cry?
I love the phrase in there. It goes by really quick, but it's self-pity. I love self-pity. I think it's wonderful. I think sometimes we just need a moment to say, gosh, this is terrible. This stinks. Just a moment. Sometimes a moment may run into a few moments, but you need to feel it so you can deal with it and figure out how to move on from it. So it's okay to not try to fix everybody. Maybe just love them right where they're at and hold them if that's what they need to cry. Now, don't start running up to people and just grabbing them, because that'll be weird. Holding them doesn't mean literally having to go up and hold them. It can mean just touching their back or looking at them in the eye and let them know, I hear you, and I do think it stinks, and I love you, and I know you're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. We don't always need a solution. We just need understanding sometimes. God's got the solution. We'll get through that. Well, a few years ago, I was at a church in Evansville, Indiana, singing. I had never been there before. And there were 3 services, so I got there really early. And when I got there were 3 sound people because they had a sound system all set up. And sometimes I bring in my own, and sometimes I tie into what the church has. It just depends on the situation. But this church had one that was much better than mine, so I was going to tie in and use what they had. Well, when I got there, they were looking for a microphone that they wanted me to use, and I knew the microphone. It was my favorite. It's a great mic. but they couldn't find it. They didn't know where it was. So they gave me the next best microphone, which was fine. We did sound check. Everything worked great. So when church started, they had a praise and worship band, a band that came up front to lead people in some songs and worship music. And as soon as they got up there, the sound guy said to me, "Darla, there's the microphone." The head singer in the band was using it. And apparently, which I didn't know, she hid it after every service. So no one else could use it. Now, I didn't know that. Music people, we usually like to share. I mean, we're usually good. If there's a better mic or a better way to do something, we like to hear it because we like to help everything go better, especially in Christian and gospel music. Because if things are smooth here, then we can do a better job of getting the message out. So they said, "Hey, Darla, after this song, they're all going to go up and shake hands with each other. It's a time to greet each other in the congregation. So when they're doing that, why don't you just run up there and grab the microphone from her and use it for your part of the service? It's already on and working." No problem. I was very comfortable with that. So they finished their song, and everybody was loving each other. You know, "Good morning, how are the kids? How's your dad? How's the dog?" All those few minutes of love they give each other. And I'm walking through all that, hearing people share their week and pray with each other. It was a really positive moment. So I walk up to the head singer on this band, and I said, "Hey there, I'm Darla, and I'm the one singing this morning, and I'd love to use your microphone for my part of the service. It's my favorite mic ever." And she looked at me and she said, "I don't know who you are." And I said, "I'm Darla." I just said who I was. And she said, "Well, Darla," she said, "I didn't ask you to be here. And no one asked me if I wanted you here. But I'm a professional singer." And she said, "This microphone was set by my friend who's a professional sound man, not those people. And if you or they touch any part of my microphone or my channel back there, I will kill you. It's perfect." I looked at her for a minute. I thought, "Oh, she's going to kill me. It's like church. That's a whole lot of commandments." She just broke. And everybody out here, I'm hearing the love. And here I'm hearing, like, "I'm going to kill you." And I looked at her thinking, she's got to be joking. I mean, is she that angry or that upset about sharing a microphone? And I looked at her for any semblance of a smile or a hidden camera or anything. And then I looked at the lay person, because the pastor wasn't there. She was taking care of the service. And she was mortified. Her face was, and I thought to myself, she's serious. This is real. If I touch that mic, there will be imminent death coming to me. So I made a really quick decision as Alvin's daughter, who's been in church her whole life and very smart, that I was just going to say thank you and get away from her. Because I was a little afraid of her anger directed towards me when I didn't even know her. So I just said, "You know what? What I had was great during my warm-up. I'll just use that. Thank you so much for letting me be here." I wouldn't say a lot of other things, but I just said, "Okay. I'm just a guest here, so I'm not going to cause any problems." So she kind of, and she walked off, and she went to the back of the sanctuary, where she stood the entire service with her microphone right here, so I could see that she won. She won. She had a victory right there. So I did my part of the service. And it was great, it was fine. And all I was thinking about the whole time was, how am I going to get out that door without walking past her? I didn't want to have any more conversation. I was a little afraid of her anger. So I found a side door. And after I was finished and I said my thank yous, I went out a side door and came in back through the back of the church. So I didn't have to walk past that woman. And I walked back there and they were singing the last hymn. She comes out the doors and comes towards me. And I thought, what did I do? I touched the wrong door. I stood on her carpet. I don't know what I did wrong now. When was she possibly angry at me for this time? And she said to me, she said, "I enjoyed the service." And she said, "I'm really sorry I did that to you right before you sang. That's not a real positive environment to have right before you get up to share joy." And she said, "I'm having a really hard time right now." And she said, "That wasn't your fault." I kind of knew that. And I said, "Well, what's going on?" And she said, "Well, I lost my husband a few months ago, and he was only 48, and it was pancreatic cancer, and it was so fast." And she said, "And a couple weeks ago, my oldest son was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and I don't even know what that means." And she said, "Everything is just so different now." And I looked at her, and I said, "I get it. 1 year ago, your life was laid out, was predictable. You knew exactly what was going to happen. And now, all of a sudden, everything is different. Everything is different. And the only thing that's the same is every Sunday morning, you're going to get up in front of that church, and you're going to have that microphone that is exactly the same, that has not been touched, and you're going to sing praise and worship, and you're going to lead your church to a closer time with God. That's the only thing you have that's consistent right now. And I said, but guess what? All your power is not in that silly microphone. It can break, it can go wrong, the battery can die, the music can go wacko, something can go wrong, but it doesn't matter because your power is not here. Your power is right there. So you can put the microphone down, you can let other people use it. We'll clean it off, it'll be fine. Your power is not in that. Your power is in God, who's using you right now as a living testimony for His peace in the midst of a lot of transition and sadness. It was almost 6 years ago that my life became very different. When my husband of 15 years and my high school sweetheart decided he wanted to be with another person. And one day my life was one way, and literally one day it was the next way. And we had been together through 13 years of medical school, where I happily worked 3 jobs to get him through and love my family and do what I had to do to get us to the end goal. But here was the problem with that. Our end goal was all those things. All the things, which we got. We had the big, beautiful house. I had the in-ground pool. The Lexus was in the garage. We had all the stuff. And it wasn't more than 2 years later that all the stuff didn't matter, because that's not where he wanted to be anymore. And I remember laying in this really big bed in a really big house that I couldn't even afford to pay the water bill on, much less the mortgage. And I looked up at this fancy ceiling, and the window was open. I could see our sparkling swimming pool. It was early in the morning. The sun was coming up, and it was sparkling. But more importantly, what I saw and heard was my daughters, who were on either side of me. And they were 8 and 10 years old at that time. And when we told them, and when Daddy told them this was happening, they stayed in bed with Mommy for several months, which was completely wonderful with me. And they were still asleep. And I was laying there in that big bed. And I heard him packing the boxes and loading the boxes that he had been packing for the last couple of days. And I was laughing because he was packing them in a little Lexus sports car. Couldn't hold much. And I heard the door open and close and open and close. And I knew at one point the door was going to close and not reopen. And all of a sudden, 19 years of my life that was one way was going to be completely different. And I laid in that big bed, and I remember talking to God. It wasn't a prayer, it was a conversation. And I said, God, I have heard about you for 35 years. I believe in you. I have heard the testimonies. I've seen the trials. I've seen your peace in action. I have read the Bible. I know the verses. I know thousands of songs. I believe all that. But up until that point, life has been pretty easy. And I need you right now to show me that all that's true. Because I don't even know how I'm going to breathe or how I'm going to walk, much less take care of these children. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he just said so calmly, I got you. I got you. Watch. Watch what's going to happen now. And I could keep talking for hours about what happened now, but let me just say this. In our darkest moments is when we can see God the most bright. Because when there's nothing to distract us, we focus right where we need to. When everything is lost, God never leaves. He stays. And I felt so broken in that moment. So useless, so discarded, unwanted. And I heard this song not too long after, and I had to share it. And this is called Broken Ones.
Came home one day with a raggedy, raggedy Ann. She says, Mama, look what I found in the neighbor's garbage can. With a missing left arm and a right button knife hanging in my spread. She carried it gently up to her room and laid it on her bed. With her other dolls, she loves the broken ones, the ones who need a little patching up. She sees diamonds in the rough. She makes them shine. shows up all black and blue, with needle tracks in her left arm. She's almost too weak to stand. She said,